parliament, you said you have got two houses. What is the role of president in the parliament?
President is actually the administrative head of a country. It is the governing head of the country, both in terms of administration and also in terms of, because it is the head of defense, basically.
Parliament, तीन component है इसके. National Assembly, Senate and the President. Your province of Punjab, the assemblies have been dissolved. Now there is a controversy, which has landed in the Supreme Court of Pakistan. What are the questions of determination before Supreme Court of Pakistan?
First of all, the President has ordered for the re-elections of the dissolved assemblies of Punjab and KPK. The question was that for the re-election of assemblies, it is a prerogative of governor to assign the date or to designate the date and time for the election. And in the Constitution of Pakistan, under Article 48, the President can, in certain circumstances, can issue a date. While according to Election Act 2017, the Article 57 Election Act says that President, in consultation with the Election Commission of Pakistan, can issue the date for the general election. Now the question that arose, and the Supreme Court has taken the suo motu action, that is this, the date given by President was legal, or was it according to all the terms and conditions being satisfied before giving the date that is announced in the mid of April, that is 9th April. Was it after the consultation or the due process as written in the Constitution? Was it legal or not? And is there any precedent in this matter? Like we have a Maulvi Tamizuddin case in our history. That is according to same dissolution of assembly, and then it was also stated as a doctrine of necessity. Is this same scenario, or it will be a different? So this is the thing that the Supreme Court of Pakistan has to take action according to these and to finalize this case.
Arifa, if you are before the Supreme Court as a respondent, what will be your argument? This is the argument which you will give, or you will follow the argument of the petitioners?
I will stand by this stance to hear the case and to see the scenario of all the country and the governor's crisis that we are facing since last 5 months. The public approach, the role of democracy in sustaining the country, political culture and economy, then I would prefer to go for the legal sense, not for doctrine of necessity. To go for the thing that will be most suitable for our country in this scenario of economic and political mismanagement.
You see, the Chief Minister was an elected person of the people of the province. Okay? The governor is a nominated one. मुझे भी बना सकते हैं, आपको भी बना सकते हैं. Now, the non-elected person is, in a way, creating hindrance in the process of election. तो पूरे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन को sabotage हो रहा है. जब कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ने कहा है कि when the advice is there, if the governor will assent, if not, then after 48 hours, या तो objection लगा के भेजता ना.
Yes, sir.
इसकी किस तरह interpretation करेंगे आप?
Sir, for me, it is like the provincial assembly that was working and that has been dissolved, or the people mandate assembly, it was abrogated, and it was abrogated on the will of a non-political person, as already mentioned. But there are certain circumstances of the people were like they have the mandate in the assembly, but their wishes, their needs were not fulfilled. They were also in the opinion that it must be re-elected.
Okay, how do you see the future of social media in politics?
Social media is basically 4 pillars of society. Social media is like a fire. It is a good servant but a bad master. In politics, social media must have certain domains. We are seeing the free social media that was launched in the start of this century, the Musharraf era. This media has no limits. It has no obligation. It has no certain limits to be followed. It has no code of conduct. To see the social media or its participation in the politics, it must have certain code of conduct. There must be certain conditions. If these conditions are fulfilled, then this role of social media in the politics is good. If these are beyond the certain code of conduct, the role of social media, any form, is it against a conspiracy? Is its role related to the fame, or its role related to infotainment, both in the form of information, it may be political information, or in the form of entertainment? It must be in the boundaries. If it is in the boundaries, then it is good for politics, because it both brings the good and bad things of the politicians, of the people, of the assembly, and of that time in which the different decisions are being taken. If it is in the limits, then it is good for politics. If it is not in the limit, it is being used by certain people against the certain people, then it is not good for politics. It must be in the certain limits, and it has certain criteria to judge the role of social media in the politics.
Okay. Now think about China, the governance system, and then you think about India, its governance system. They are, for the last 70 plus years, they are on democratic path. China has got a different type of setup. How do you see the sustainability of the future of these two systems?
Democracy in China and in India, and if we implement all those models in Pakistan to keep the democracy on the rail, to keep the democratic process working, to keep the political will of the people to be seen in the assemblies and as the representative of the people. Democracy is basically a collective participation, and collective participation is always the mandate. It is always the might force. It always wins. It keeps all democracy's basic things, basic root from which accountability, rule of law, transparency, all these branches explode. And if democracy is the root and is stable, then all the rule of law, or all the participatory governance, accountability, and all different types of a good governance will flourish. And if it is good in China and India, and if same model is implemented in Pakistan, then we will all see the same fruits.
Thank you. Happy, sir.
What are bureaucratic rigmaroles?
Sir, I couldn't get the term.
Red tapeism.
Sir, red tapeism is actually the delay tactics. According to my suggestion, these are the delay tactics, and also there are certain hurdles. That is that we are not so up to date in terms of management of, or even management of our dealings, or the work or job description. Red tapeism is basically because of two causes, according to me. Number one is the incapacity of the people that are on that positions. Secondly, it is basically due to the delaying tactics. Incapacity can be defined also in the terms of the lack of knowledge, the lack of experience, and the lack of the tenure surety. We have certain officers posted in certain department for even less than a week. They have to run the business, but they have no idea. So that is also the reason for red tapeism in Pakistan. And also certain delaying tactics, it might be of certain political pressure. It might be of the fear of being accountable for direction. If I or someone else has to take the decision that has certain consequences, or it may be the matter of policy, and after 10 or 20 years, when anyone has to revisit his decision, it may be called accountable for what he has done. So that is also the reason for red tapeism in the bureaucratic model.
Fine diplomacy. Foreign Service for Pakistan is your third choice.
And diplomacy is basically a relation on certain terms and conditions between two states, between two regions, and in current scenario between the two different countries. For it is based basically on the give and take, certain benefits to certain countries which are in relation in the term of diplomatic ties. These are basically based on cultural ties or foreign relations, or in terms of the developing nation, the trade deficit. The trade relations. So this diplomacy is for the give and take reason, where it is a symbiotic relationship where both can get benefit from each other.
Why leading political parties and bar associations, they are openly disputing the fixation of benches by the Supreme Court?
For me, it is a blame game actually, because all the political parties and bar association have their own motives. They have their own agendas to work on it. So the bench fixing that is being highlighted, it may be there. I can say that it is a sort of political blame game to gain the political benefits, to victimize any person or anything. Or sometimes, in case of our country, it is like all the benefits or all the cases that any political party have faced, they want, like, it was a blame game against them, it was defamation of their party or their political motives, so they try to settle it down like.
There are a number of judges who are never made part of the benches. There are judges who are repeatedly, again and again, being made part of the judges. What does that mean? Okay, no problem. You have been a lecturer in HEC department. What has, you see, this being a lecturer, how has you benefited from it?
I was a lecturer in higher education department. I served in a government college for women Chikwal for 2 years. First of all, the two benefits which I get, I came to know about my potential over there. When I was teaching, I was basically teaching chemistry over there to the students of BSc and FSc level. And I came to know about I have more potential. I can influence the society in more better form. Secondly, I came to know about a vast variety of subjects being taught in the colleges. I was not aware of the Persian subject. I was not aware of the civic and education subject over there. It has broadened my view of knowledge. I was a science student and I even did research in the science. It have gave me an expanded horizon of all the humanities subjects.
Okay, thank you.
Arifa Batool, foreign service is your third preference.
Yes, ma'am.
Could you tell me the difference between a high commissioner and an ambassador?
No, ma'am. Sorry.
You've studied physical chemistry. Can you define physical chemistry?
It is a branch of chemistry that basically deals with all the physical phenomena of the particles. Basically, particle, we can say electron or all the subatomic particles. All the physical characteristics are their behaviors towards the light, their electromagnetic behaviors, their properties that are dealing with their shells, subshell electronic distribution. And it mainly deals with their junctions, their p-n junctions and their different composition nature.
You have three favorite personalities. Marie Curie, of course, chemistry. Nigar Johar. Who is Nigar Johar?
Nigar Johar is a Lieutenant General and now Major General in Pakistan Army. And she is basically a doctor by profession. She also served during COVID-19 days, boldly served in the face of this pandemic at the Pakistan level. And she is the first woman to be Lieutenant General in Army Medical Corps.
No, was it not General Shahida?
The four other ladies promoted to the rank of Major General, but she is the first one to be the Lieutenant General.
Are you sure?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You have studied chemistry and you're a dress designer.
Yes, ma'am.
What is your philosophy of dress designing? Because each designer has his own philosophy for the design. What is yours?
I have two basic. I always go for the one theme, one color choice. That is because I think for me it looks so good to see a person in one monotone rather than different color. Secondly, I believe in the Pakistani traditional dresses. I design dresses for myself, my family, and even I give dresses to my different friends. And I have distinction for monotheme and secondly for Pakistani dresses.
So you take traditions.
I take Pakistani tradition.
Pakistani traditions. So different, we are a heterogeneous society. Different subcultures exist. So have you ever designed a lacha kurta?
No, ma'am.
Because that is also a tradition. And it's very, I think, environmental friendly with heat and everything. Environmental sciences, you're also optional.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me why Pakistan is one of the top 7 climate change vulnerable countries?
Lies in that region in the earth that is more vulnerable to climate change because we have different seasons. And due to difference, we have glaciers, we have deserts. We have diverse terrain. This diverse terrain, we have to manage a lot of things. We have desert at one side, we have sea at the other side. Both the people living over there, the habitat over there, both is whenever anything changes, we get temperature rise even 1 degree. That affects our glaciers, that affect even our sea, that affect our deserts. So Pakistan suffer drastically from any minor change in the climate. That's why Pakistan is most vulnerable because its terrain is diverse.
There are many countries in this terrain. Why don't they get the same level of inundations and problems?
Secondly, Pakistan is agricultural country. We take most vulnerability because we affect basically in terms of agriculture. Whenever flood come, whenever drought come, we suffer badly in terms of agriculture, in terms of habitat destruction. So that's why we are most vulnerable.
Thank you so much, Arifa.
Arifa, can you tell us the administrative hierarchy of your province?
Administrative hierarchy for field, for secretariat, like
Both.
In the secretariat management, we have SOs at BS17. I am starting from lower to higher. Section officers, then we have deputy secretaries, then we have additional secretaries, then we have special secretaries and secretaries for different department, and for home department that is additional chief secretary home, and in the SNJD that is additional chief secretary Punjab, and over there is the chief secretary of any province.
Chief Minister is not part of executive hierarchy?
He is.
Okay, police is your second preference. What is the police hierarchy of a province?
I have no idea. Actually, I am not sure. It is ASPs and parallel DSPs, the promotees, then these are SPs, SSPs, and then AIGs, and then IGs.
DPO is a posting or a rank?
DPO is basically a posting.
Okay. You have studied Punjabi. You must have noticed while studying Sufi Punjabi, you must have noticed all Sufi poets. They identify, when they are talking in poetic sense, they identify as females. Main Neemi, mera murshid ucha. You know, all males, but they are speaking in a female tone. Why?
The reason is the females are regarded as the best custodian of love. They can inflict love, they can even embrace love, and they can sacrifice for love. So they think that being a female, they can better display, they can better describe the version of love, or they can better explain their feelings being a female, because females have more power to retain the love.
What are 5 attributes of Khudi that Iqbal describes?
Self-respect, the self-respect and the accountability, sense of responsibility towards self, and your responsibility of your actions that are influencing the society. Education not in the form of formal education to be conscious about yourself, to be conscious about your surrounding, and to be conscious about your actions.
What 10 duties that Mawardi identifies for an Amir of an Islamic state?
Amir must be a Muslim. Amir must be knowledgeable. Amir must have idea of its people suffering. He must know the needs of society actually. And the Amir must be pious in the sense of he must be accountable for his actions before the God, before his appointee, and before the public. He must be righteous in the sense he.
एक ही बात होगी ना, pious, righteous and all.
Sir, for pious.
Administration में बताएं ना.
He must be honest. He must not use any ill means, maybe intentionally or maybe unintentionally, that are regarded as a gifts or anything that are shown to him.
Okay, last question. Why Machiavelli is called contemporary of all ages?
His political theory is practicable for me. It is according to circumstances. His famous line in his political theory is, a rural must be as brave as a lion and he must be as cunning as a fox, because he must be adaptive to the environment and to his participation in the public discipline.
Okay, thank you.
Let's close it. Let's have informal session. You can ask question. We will give you our feedback. How you will place your self-assessment करके बताओ 1 से 10 के scale में this half an hour which you have spent with us.
7. Actually, I was not prepared. I have psychological session.
नहीं वो हमने भी यही assess किया है. हम देख रहे हैं हमारी और आपकी assessment में कितना फर्क है. तो you are good, but तैयारी करो, अपडेट हो जाए, न्यूज़पेपर को फोकस करो. 80% इसी में से होगा. यू हैव टू डिफेंड दिस पेपर जो आप उनको लिख के देगी, whether it is chemistry, whether it is environmental science, or whatsoever you will write here, and 20% is your newspaper. अभी तैयारी कब है एग्जाम इंटरव्यू?
31st March.
चलो यू हैव गॉट ए मंथ.
Yes, sir.
तो अभी ये है कि गुज़श्ता 3 महीने के अखबार निकालो, न्यूज़ के या नॉन whatsoever you like. तो उसकी इंटरनेशनल न्यूज़, नेशनल न्यूज़ एंड सोशल इश्यूज उनको आइडेंटिफाई कर ले. और नोटबुक बनाती हैं आप कोई अपनी इंटरव्यू के लिए नोट्स नहीं लिखने?
सर आई हैव अ नोटबुक सिंस
देखो मेरी बात
प्रिपरेशन फॉर एचईडी.
ये जो है ना नोटबुक, ये मैं कह रहा हूँ, यहाँ लिखो टॉपिक वाटर क्राइसिस, यूक्रेन, चाइना पाकिस्तान, चाइना इंडिया, चाइना यूएस, नीचे 1 2 3 4 पॉइंट लिख दो बस. ठीक है, और उनको आप रिपीट करते रहे, रोजाना उठ के उनको रिहर्स करें, देख लें कि मैंने क्या लिखा हुआ. सो व्हेन यू आर इन इंटरव्यू, वहां तो रिटर्न में सोच सोच के लिखते रहे ना, बट हियर यू डोंट हैव दैट चांस. तो एटलीस्ट आपके वो 4-5 पॉइंट जो स्टोर में हैं वो आप यू आर इन ए पोजिशन टू टेल. You get my point?
Yes, sir.
That you need to instantly you have to reply. तो बस ये 2 सोर्सेज है, इनको तो ओवरव्यू करते रहें, पढ़ते रहें.
Yes,
और उस पे न्यूज़पेपर पे कंसंट्रेट करें. अब ज़्यादा किताबों में नहीं घुसना.
Yes, sir.
ओवरव्यू लें, चाहे ये केमिस्ट्री है, पॉलिटिकल साइंस, गवर्नेंस है, पंजाबी, एक आध इसका 2-4 शेर याद रखें, पूछ सकते हैं. और एनवायरमेंटल साइंसेस थोड़ा सा उसका ओवरव्यू रिपीट करें. बाकी इट इज ऑल राइट, यू आर गुड. ठीक है.
Yes, sir.
सर आप टेक्स्ट नेट, ये तो कोई इतनी बड़ी मुश्किल बात थी टेक्स्ट नेट, ये जो है.
I left it with intentionally. I dropped this question actually.
Why?
Sir, I have not revised the economy actually. Instead of giving a wrong answer, I felt it better to drop this question.
ठीक है, नो प्रॉब्लम. डिप्लोमेसी भी आपने सही डिफाइन नहीं किया, इसको जाकर देखें.
Yes, sir.
क्या आती है, व्हाट इज डिप्लोमेसी? फॉरेन सर्विस आपने दी हुई है ना, तो ये आपसे पूछा जा सकता है. ठीक है. आप कभी कभी ये जो कांटेक्ट, आई कांटेक्ट लूज करती हैं. शुरू में जब आप आई थी, आप जो है ये आई कांटेक्ट लूज कर रही थी. बाद में बहरहाल कुछ बेहतर हो गया था, लेकिन कोशिश करें कि आई कांटेक्ट जो है ना वो आपको लूज नहीं करना चाहिए. ठीक है. थैंक यू.
Arifa Batool, you have a good personality, you're confident, you're good in your communication. You said that you have been getting awards in your speeches, so it shows that you're a good orator. But there's some areas that you can improve on. We are here to help you.
Yes, ma'am.
As far as your dress is concerned, for a professional interview, a monotone is always good.
Yes, ma'am.
And shades of blue, gray, black are preferred because they look more professional. And the shoes should also be in the same tones.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? As far as knowledge gap, there is knowledge gap.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
need to practice on that. Whatever you've written here is your advantage. Depends on how well you are prepared about what you have written here. So you don't have to write 3 personalities because you will not have thorough knowledge on all these 3 persons. I would recommend keep 1 or 2 and do thorough study on that. So that if you're questioned, you can answer the questions. Same goes for books. Refresh your memory about the books. You पहले पढ़ी होंगी, जवाब देना मुश्किल हुई because panel पढ़ा लिखा होता है. They can ask you questions on that. Same goes for your optional subjects. Review them. You have a good potential. You're a winning horse. A little bit of focus and a little bit of hard work. Wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
But most of the things panel has already told you. I would just add on to which the chair told you, understand your questions. सर ने आपसे इंडिया चाइना पूछा कि उनका फ्यूचर क्या होगा, आपने उसे पाकिस्तान पे अप्लाई कर दिया. Take a deep breath, relax yourself, understand what is asked. Then, take a second and then respond so that you can respond aptly and properly. Nobody expects you to know everything. Nobody expects you to answer every question. What they expect is that whatever you know, 1, you comprehend, 2, whatever you know it properly. Bas, itni si baat hai. And make an eye contact. Whenever a question comes from the panel, any individual from the panel, that question is from the rest of the panel as well. They are also judging your answer on that question. So you have to, maintain an eye contact. बाकी सारी चीजें पैनल ने आपको बता